Josh Swickard.
Hey, Josh.
Take three.
Take three, Josh Swickard.
Amazing.
What's up, dude? How are you, brother?
Yeah.
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. So wait, hold on. Before we get into really why we're here to talk to Josh, you've been married how long now, Josh?
Just over a year and 5 months.
All right. So
that's some good quick math.
Yeah, that was good. That was fast. If it was any slower, that might have been a problem. So, so what advice would you give somebody who's about to get married now? Not me, but I'm saying just in general, now that you've been married.
You guys would be so much better at answering this. I would say, all right, I was trying to be funny. I won't be funny.
I'm sure your wife would appreciate that.
Just try to outserve each other the whole time.
Interesting.
If you're doing your best to serve her and she's doing her best to serve you, it's a pretty nice thing you got going on there. So that's my advice. Keep dating.
No, it's good. That's great advice because listen, men out there, make your wife feel loved and beautiful like every day, and she'll do the same, and it's amazing.
And you're golden.
Yeah, look at the wisdom on you, Josh.
Josh, that's really good, Josh. That's really good. All that wisdom came with that hat.
That's right. Hey, how cool is this? He's greater than I. Boom.
There you go. That's awesome.
Right?
I like it.
Cool. I like that.
It's a cool hat.
So last week on the podcast, we played a game called Chess or Checkers, and so now that we have you here, we're gonna check up. We were guessing whether or not which male characters on GH played either chess or checkers, and so without us revealing what we said about your character, do you think Chase is more of a checkers guy or a chess guy?
Well, I'll just man.
Not Josh.
Not Josh. We're keeping. I mean, sometimes I would say the actors maybe bled into our choices. Maybe
I would assume you guys said checkers.
Oh,
you would assume that?
Chess?
No, we did not say chess. Why would we say chess? For Chase.
Oh, he really thinks things through sometimes.
We said checkers
sometimes.
Chase.
Checkers Chase.
Well, you're lucky we didn't say tic-tac-toe.
I was about to say I literally was about to say or option C, tic-tac-toe.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
That's right.
That's what you gave Chad. I get it.
Well, actually, talking about it's wonderful that Steve brought up your first year of marriage, because in your first year of marriage, you guys. So one thing about my wife and I that we learned very quickly is that we like being around each other, but if we have a project to do, best to not do it together. Like a home improvement project or something like that. And you and your wife just undertook not just a project, but like a project.
Yeah. Can you just give us a little, Josh, before we get into what you guys just did, can you just give us a little background of Lauren, of what Lauren does?
Yes. So Lauren, we met acting on a movie called Roped that's on Netflix right now. And she is an actress, and she did every kind of lifetimey movie that you could think of, and really knows that genre. And after, I don't know, her 20th movie, she was like, the formulas are kind of the same. I could probably write. And her acting career, she like went through a 6-month period where she wasn't going out. She's like, I'm gonna start writing, and pumped out like 4 scripts, and they were really weirdly good. And she went to script school of journalism or something for a year. So that was kind of her knack growing up.
Cool.
And so she's a writer now too. And so when quarantine hit, we were talking with the producer that did Roped, the production company, and he was like, we should do a Christmas movie. And we kind of, Lauren and I talked it out, and he was like, how fast could you write one? And she cranked it out in 9 days, 10 days. I mean, it was crazy. She's one of those people that, like, once she's focused, it's like game on, and she's upset with herself if she has to pee or eat because it ruins her focus.
Yes. I agree.
So she cranked it out. When she gets stuck, I'd kind of like come in and I'd be like, what's the scene? And then we would basically just improv something, and
that's
a version
amazing,
of that would
dude.
go in. And yeah, we kind of found a really fun, we'd never worked together in that capacity. And, on the kind of the front end, and it was fun. We both learned a lot about, I mean, she's an animal with writing, but I learned a lot about writing, and so she writes it, and we go into pre-production, and we're having a bunch of Zoom meetings with the other producers going, how in the heck do we, because there was one, I want to say maybe it was what's his name, John Travolta, maybe had a project going on in Georgia, but other than that, it was like one of the first SAG projects in. And
Yeah. So
we're
can you
trying
tell
to,
us about like what time when she was writing this? What time of year was it? Like when was it? When? June. Okay.
May,
So
May, June, and then we started filming in July.
Wow.
Right. So yeah, because I mean nothing was back at that point, and
No.
like that second little blip in wasn't the second peak kind of in June or like around that time, like the post Memorial Day, peak.
We were filming while the second little thing was going, and we're going every day. We were waiting for the phone call, and it got a little dicey. But
so if I may ask you, when you were, you talked about when she hit a bit of a roadblock or whatever, or was looking, needed a little assistance to get through that scene or whatever, and you guys were talking it through. Did you already know at that point that you'd be playing the two characters that she was like? You knew that, right? So
yeah, we were kind of shooting this with that in mind, just because Roped did okay. It didn't do great, but it did, and I think Australia and New Zealand, it was top 10 and a bunch of random places. And so we were like, well, maybe if we use the same director, same team, same crew, we could maybe take it to Netflix and say, what do you guys think? It's the same team. The first one was kind of successful. What do you think?
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, we wrote it with that in mind, hence why there's an old Harley motorcycle. And I was like, what's my dream movie here?
Yeah,
right. Sure.
How do I put it in the script?
But that's such a cool like when you're thinking about writing it, you can like, obviously you're going to use your own brain to come up with the dialogue, but to be able to improv as yourselves, but the characters that you're writing, like that doesn't seem like something that happens to most writers as an opportunity to have. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it sounds pretty unique.
It was insanely fortunate, and we feel very blessed that we got to do it, let alone that it worked out.
Right.
And we found out early on, we didn't really lay any guidelines or rules, but we found out early on that we can work together okay, kind of like what you were saying, where I knew this was more her project than mine. And so we'd come in, I go, man, this scene, I'm telling you, babe, it needs this. And she's like, no, it doesn't, because of this. And it could be that I had kind of an alpha mom growing up too, but I was kind of like, I get it, that's cool. And
but to have those conversations is great. I mean, because either it solidified her point of view, or maybe you added something to it.
Totally.
But like a good wall. I mean, you sounded like a great wall to bounce things off of.
Exactly. And that's what happens. Sometimes she would use exactly what I say, and it would be great. Or sometimes I would say this, and it would just give her this idea, and then she took it here, and so yeah, I mean, even while we were filming, I mean, we both have that thankfully in our relationship, where I can be like, hey babe, do another take. It didn't it didn't hit. I know what you want, and it didn't hit. And then she'd be like, oh, got you.
So let me ask this. Anytime a movie gets greenlit, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's usually people, the production companies giving notes back to you guys about the script. How many passes were there? That's my first question. And then the second question, on set, if something didn't work dialogue wise, obviously, were you able to change it pretty easily? And did you do that too? So 2 questions.
Yeah. So we did, let's see, Lauren finished it. And then a guy on the team at this production company did a run through it, and he was like their structure god, and he
awesome.
He knows structure better than anything.
Love
and
that.
Then a second guy ran through it, and he is a very good comedy guy, and so he would take the jokes that Lauren was going for and just up the joke a little bit.
Awesome.
And so there were 2 main passes, and then we had Warner Brothers, just I think we can talk about this. Warner Brothers distributed the movie. And so there was a guy at Warner that was kind of reading the script, and he's like, I don't like this, I like this. And so we were literally up in the hotel day before we start filming, and almost cut a character out, brought him back in. I mean, just like real big stuff.
Sure.
And it ended up working out. And then we would get on the day, we'd have a moment where something wouldn't hit, or I'd have an idea and be like, whoa, what if he did this instead? And I'd run it to Lauren, I'd run it to the director, Sean, and they'd be like, try it, see what happens. And that's the cool thing that's from our medium that we don't really have the opportunity to do, is you want to do something absolutely wild, you can kind of do that, and it's not as much time as money. It was a little bit.
Sure.
We were really tight. I mean, we were shooting. So for film, if you shoot an 11-page day, that's ludicrous.
That's a huge day. Yeah.
In daytime, we're shooting 100 plus every day. So we were shooting really long days that we didn't have. We'd get 2-3 takes.
Yeah. So how many days was your shoot?
We did 2 6-day weeks. So we did basically 14, days. 15 days. Yeah. We did a couple pickup days, but like, it's so funny. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling. You guys are
no, this is great. Fascinating. This is what people want to hear.
It's really funny that this worked out, because the budget, I don't want to talk exact numbers, but the budget was small. I mean, it was small. We didn't have a casting director, for instance. Everybody in this movie, someone knew, and we called them. We're like, would you come on and do this project?
These 2 guys didn't get a call.
And
that's awesome. Hey, happy pandemic, bastard.
Well, if you notice, the cast is literally 5 people.
No, the cast is literally 30 and under. Thank you. I could have played a grandpa rancher or something. But, man. Come on.
No. But yeah. So
but that's awesome, dude. I mean,
it was so small, and have you seen the movie yet? Not to put you on the spot.
I've seen some of it. I have not seen the whole thing yet. We started watching it.
I'm waiting for my kids to.
You guys didn't watch it. It's fine. I don't need good excuses. It's cool.
No, my wife and I are planning to watch it in the next couple of days, because we're waiting to get through the kids' movies and be able to say, well, there's no more holiday movies. Go to bed. We want to watch our own movie.
Someone said that you take your shirt off, so I'm waiting for that scene.
Okay, yeah, I do. It's not great, but it is off. But so at the very beginning of the scene, or in the movie, I'm on a motorcycle, kind of like ripping through San Francisco. And then there's other scenes where there's a montage of me working or Lauren driving a car. And those were literally before we started filming. The director brought his black magic out, and I would go with him. And it's the 2 of us just shooting B-roll.
That's so
and
awesome.
I mean, like, stuff that's like, it's so, this should not have worked.
That's why it did. That's why it did. Sometimes that's why it works.
Funny.
So I think one of the things that, because obviously you said you had a small budget. And so one of the things that I imagine maybe our listeners are thinking about, like, oh, well, it's on Netflix. Didn't Netflix pay you to do this movie? So, and you said you had a different production company. So like when people see things on Netflix, I don't think they necessarily know how they got there, or assume they started there. And so obviously you thought you thought maybe they'd be interested in it because they did a movie, you did a movie with them before, but the process of bringing it to them, did you bring it? Did they have a sniff of it before you started filming it, or did you finish it and say, hey, look what we have?
We kind of finished it. We checked around while we were filming to see if anybody would be interested. But the deal didn't go through until 4 weeks after we finished production.
Right. And, so that being said, you had to spend the money knowing that there could not be hoping that it got picked up. So in Hollywood, for the people who are listening, it's very rare that you're doing a movie that's going to be distributed. If this is kind of an independent film, right? Mm-hmm. You guys came up with the idea, you wrote the script, you're ready to shoot, but it's not often a script or a movie like yours gets picked up before it's finished, and they're not giving you the money. So you got to roll the dice and go, hey, okay, let's spend a little money. Let's do it. We do have maybe some interest, but we don't have a guarantee. Correct? Mm-hmm. Is that correct?
That's the situation. Yeah. And then Netflix, I think, has the opportunity to just take it. So Roped, the first movie we did, they just took, and it's not a Netflix original. And I don't know why this happens, but when they did take Cali, they said, or California Christmas, they said, this will be a Netflix original. So it's, awesome. One of their main things. So that's super exciting, but yeah, it's, they can come and say, hey, we have an idea on this movie, and they can be a part of the whole thing and fund the whole thing. Or they can, purchase it after. and that stuff is still, I'm still learning all that stuff. So
Hey, so it's called A California Christmas, right?
mhm.
And it was #1 on Netflix.
It's still #1 in the world. Today's day 8, I think. #1 in
Wow,
the world.
that's
And
pretty amazing.
I
Dude.
know. It's
That's
so weird.
Hey, listen,
that
I'm going to tell you that's better than winning an Emmy.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done that, so.
Well,
well,
you don't need to now.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's
So-
amazing.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, without, like, how does that translate to,
What,
like,
Jo-
are you
Josh,
guys thinking about what's next? Or
Yeah,
like,
what-
are-
Sorry, Brad.
Go ahead.
Josh, what did I text you? Immediately.
Oh yeah.
I go, do you have a deal for the second one yet? You should today. Let's go.
And
he
we
goes,
can't
"Yeah,
talk
we're
about
working
that
on it."
exactly, but
Okay.
but there's a sequel.
There's opportunities. Okay,
Probably.
great.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, when anything, whether it's in media or sports or whatever, when something works, the first instinct is like, okay, how do we recreate this? It worked. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Like,
Mhm.
so now in terms of you and Lauren, do you have that same thought? I'm not talking about like a sequel. I'm talking just about in terms of like how you did this and the success and I imagine you enjoyed it. So like,
Yeah.
has that opened up other ideas in your brain? Like, what else can we do? Not just like repeat this, but like maybe there's other stuff we want to do. Like, and not, you don't have to be specific, but I'm curious, did it
Yeah.
open a box of creativity in any way?
It did very
Or
much.
just
I mean,
ideas?
for us, we laugh. I mean, we just like, there's no way that this happened, to us, and
Right.
That's
and
awesome.
so we're so, just dumbfounded that we're in this situation, and there's a mixture of feelings for me because I know how quickly it comes and how quickly it goes when it comes to this industry, and so you can try to, and that's the fear is, oh, we have a hit, like let's do another one, and how many times does the second movie of a sequel just suck,
Sure.
and with that situation we just kind of had lightning in a bottle. It was so many different factors and all come together at the right time and the stars aligned. And so yeah, there's definitely an anxiety of the next one has to be as good or the next one has
Sure.
to be better, and that, to learn how to let that go, I'm still processing that. But for sure, I mean, Lauren's talking about different writing projects now. She's in development on a little TV show,
Sweet.
Yeah.
and yeah, so I'm just trying to
Is-
keep my head above water at General Hospital. So
Now, do you have a what list of credits do you have on this film? Obviously, you're in the cast,
I'm
but
a producer and an actor,
you're a
Sweet.
producer.
or
So
co-producer. Yeah.
is that your first producing credit or no?
Hmm.
Right.
First producing credit.
Are your reps or like does it feel different? Like, does it feel like
You're a
'cause
little
we're-
more proud of it.
Well,
There's
sure.
like with Roped, it's, oh, go see that movie that we were in.
Right.
It's really cool. And this is like, oh my gosh, this is our baby. What did you think? Like,
Sure.
tell me
Well, there's a
everything, the good, the
vulnerability to
bad.
that too, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also in terms of like you've been waiting on one end of the phone for most of us wait on one end of the phone for the bulk of our career. Once that changes though, once you're like, I don't need anybody to call me. I'm good.
Mhm.
Like, I'm gonna make my stuff, or I'm gonna, like, there is something that does to you, and it's a really cool claiming of power in an industry where we don't feel power very often. And has that
Yeah.
registered at all?
Yes and no. I mean, I have this forever self-deprecating approach to life that I am continually working on. But with that comes, there's probably a hint of humility that I can't shake, and so I'm very acutely aware that it's all fluff. Like, it's a great opportunity, and hopefully something comes of it. We're gonna work like hell. But yeah, the 13-year-old in me that casting, I got 17,000 no's for 2 yeses, and so it's like that side of me is like,
Yeah.
I went and made something, like,
Yeah.
but no, overall it's just we feel so blessed in
Oh,
our heads.
you getting a call?
And
Yeah.
Yeah, I ended
All
it.
right. So,
But
yeah.
we look at each other and we're stoked. So who knows what'll happen, but we're living
sure.
in the moment as best we can.
Right.
I
So-
mean, your humility is always going to serve you, but at the same time, that is you're in a good place to, to feel like walking around, feeling power does not mean that you're a jerk, So
Yeah.
Yeah, kind
that's
of
all.
does.
No, as long as you don't
no.
you
I'm
don't
kidding,
lord it
I'm
over
kidding.
anybody, but you feel it. You can
Sure.
feel
No,
it.
it feels good. I mean, you've accomplished
it's
something.
it's a door opener,
For sure.
Yes.
and that's
Yes.
the way you have to that's the way you have to look at it. And it's on to the try to think like, oh, that was cool, check it off your list, on to the next one.
Yeah,
Sure.
totally.
And
Totally.
and not dwell on it too much.
Okay, so I know, I was thinking, I go, they said a California Christmas. Did you just go through the states? Because I went through a lot of the states, and like a South Dakota Christmas doesn't sound good. Right? Like a North Dakota Christmas doesn't sound better.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
so
'cause
there's
I
only
imagine,
about 5 states that work if you go through the states. So
well,
Yeah.
and a title is always important with a movie, but when you're on a streaming service and you're like, people are scrolling, how much thought do you put into a title?
This one was very, I think actually I may have came up with it, or the other executive producer, but yeah, we just because we wrote this with location in mind. We knew the production company that we worked with has ties in Northern California. They know a lot of places they can film. We had some locations beforehand that we were like,
sure.
okay, what if it's on this, this farm or this dairy farm or whatever. So it had to be a California Christmas because we didn't have the budget for a Colorado Christmas.
Or snow.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah, right.
And
hey, I live in
and so,
Sacramento. If you're looking for a local hire for anything
Right.
else, so.
Heck
Look,
yeah.
this guy's not changing, Josh. He's always going to be. He's always going to
You
be.
asked
asking.
first.
I did not
All right.
ask. I joked.
That was a joke too.
No, it wasn't.
Maybe
There was no joking in there at all. And they're not doing a Sacramento Christmas, by the way, next. Okay. Hey, a Sac Christmas starring Bradford Anderson.
Christmas and Old Sac.
Oh no,
Oh,
no.
Old Sac coming to Christmas.
Oh,
man.
geez.
Oh man, that's
This took a
amazing, dude.
turn.
So how's life at GH treating you? I know it's been
Life
a while
is
since
good.
we talked
We've,
to you. And I know there's a lot of shakeups on the show right now. So, what's
There
happening?
are. Yeah. Last time I walked into my dressing room, my name was still on the door. So I'm
Hey-o.
very thankful.
Right.
Every blue moon, I just check it.
By the
make
way,
sure.
that's not how you know.
Right.
It's
You're
not.
going, no.
Oh
they don't-
shoot.
They don't pull the name first. That's the last thing to go.
Oh shoot.
So-
So yeah.
But you had some baby. Like, who's got the baby now?
Yeah, what's aired so far that we could talk about?
Baby.
Are well, 'cause
Wiley and you've
Yeah,
been switching babies and girls.
Oh,
No,
I have
like-
been. I've been viewing that storyline. I'm
Ah.
kind of in it. I'm kind of not. I never had the baby, but Chad and Katie, Michael and Willow, that's their
Right.
thing.
But
Okay,
Chase
so are
and-
they
Chase
together?
and Willow used to be a thing, or is it
Yes.
Chase and Sasha? Michael and Sasha and Chase and Willow. Did you switch gals?
No, they got together, and then I became friends with Sasha, but we never had a we faked a romantic relationship to get them to fall in love so they can save the baby.
Okay,
Oh, so it was all altruistic.
Sure
it
was.
was- yeah, nice work.
sure.
I did it for the love.
So what is aired? Who's with who right now on air? We don't know.
I think they are figuring out if they want to be how serious they want to be, and I'm
Okay.
hoping to get Willow back, and
Okay.
and we're seeing where things go,
Wait a second. So you wanted them to be together for the baby, but now you want her back?
because the woman that was trying to steal the baby is now dead.
Oh.
Nell. You mean Nell?
No,
Yeah.
Janelle. Yes, Janelle.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
never
so
knew
she
Janelle.
Janelle's full name was Janelle.
Yes.
I guess it
nobody
makes
calls her
sense.
Nell except for me, and then I
Janelle-
call her Janelle. It's like my character shtick.
Yeah. Janelle.
Oh.
Because they knew each other before he came to town.
She was my first love and trashed my career.
This is what our listeners really come to our show for.
And this is
Us
what we never. And this is
bumbling over storyline.
no. It's actually true. They want to hear this, and we never talk about it.
The problem is they all know it way better than we do.
That's the thing.
That's
like, Josh,
for
you're
sure
wrong.
the thing.
These dumb idiots that are on
Yeah.
this show that they know nothing about.
Oh man.
Oh man.
All right, what do you got
Okay.
popping for the holidays, dude? You staying around? What are you doing?
We're staying in town.
Yeah.
We're trying to be safe. Some of Lauren's family is here, so that's sweet. So
Cool.
so we're seeing them, and
Awesome, man.
and yeah, we're not going anywhere. Just trying to take the COVID thing as serious as
Yeah.
possible.
Cool,
That's
dude.
good thinking.
Well, listen,
Good
man.
thinking.
Tell Lauren congratulations.
Yes.
I will let her
still,
know.
I'm still confused on how to spell her name, but just tell her that I said Lauren.
I think she just, some of the acting one was before. Funny story. There was a Lauren York that was an actress that wore less clothes, and so she got. I don't know if she would want me telling this on this interview, but she got booked on a modeling job and showed up, and they're like, "Wow, you look so different than your pictures." And she was like, "I'm sorry, what picture are you talking about?"
And
they
what
pulled
job did
up
I say
those
yes to?
pictures. Yeah. And she pulled
Yeah.
up those pictures, and it was not her, and so she changed it to Lorynn.
Got
and
it.
then once we got married and it was Lauren Swickard, then she just
Yeah.
went back to Lauren Swickard.
Okay, cool. Because I was confused, dude. I was confused. I was online.
There's
I'm
a-
like, wait
yeah.
a minute, what's going on here? But
Yeah,
tell
you
her.
can just. I think her Instagram is now just Lauren Swickard, so you could use that.
Cool. Well, everybody who
So,
hasn't seen California
yes.
Christmas, check it out on Netflix. Josh, congratulations to you and Lauren.
Yeah.
You
Well
guys
done, man.
enjoy. I mean, this is awesome. You guys have this
Thank you.
news over a break with family. Enjoy it.
Right.
Feel the power, as Bradford says, and start
Feel it.
ordering everybody around.
Well, and the great thing is, since it's the holidays, nobody, people are going to say what's next, right? They do that with everything.
Sure.
But
But everything's closed, so we can say
everything's closed, so
We
you
don't
can
know.
just revel in this. Yeah. So
That's right.
That's awesome, dude.
But I love it. It's like the Wachowskis, the Swickards. You're the next power player. I love it.
Love it.
Yeah,
Love
I
it,
love
man.
that.
Good for you guys,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I appreciate it so much.
All right, brother. Have a great Christmas. Happy New Year. I'll see you at work, pal.
Sounds good.
All
Talk
right.
soon.
Be well, bud.